ground.
What's up, guys? It's Quinn.
It's Alex.
It's IconicComic. We're coming back at you with the first episode of IconicComic's Superhero News. It's our weekly show where we're just going to discuss the week that was in superhero film, comics, TV shows, any big news that comes out. Now, you know, it may change week to week what we focus on, but we're just going to give our thoughts on the stories. So, want to just jump right in?
Yeah?
Let's jump right in. Alright, so first, before we get started, I want to kind of give a little shout out to comicbook.com. They break a lot of these stories so that we can talk about them and share our opinions about them. So, up first, Avengers Infinity War details T's sizable role for Star-Lord. So, sizable role. Alright, so, it's not a secret that the Guardians are probably going to be a part of Infinity War. Marvel has repeatedly said that this is the culmination of everything that has come before it. So, Vin Diesel kind of confirmed it in an interview earlier this year that the Guardians would be a part of it, so no surprise. But according to Schmoes Know, the hero will be the first team member to make an appearance in the film and be a major player throughout Infinity War. I think it makes sense that Star-Lord is the one that does the most talking and dealing with the Avengers. Do you agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, he is the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And just the name, Guardians of the Galaxy. They are the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, and Earth is in the galaxy, so yeah, I think he would be the one to parlay with the Avengers and stuff. So yeah, it makes sense.
I can't wait to see not just Star-Lord, but the Guardians and the Avengers finally meet, because there's so many personalities that I just want to see like how they bounce off each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see Star-Lord talk to Tony Stark and Captain America. I want to see Rocket Raccoon talk to... I actually kind of want to see Rocket talk to Cap. Like, see how many times he has to say language.
That's funny.
No, but like, yeah, sizable role for Star-Lord. I think it makes the most sense. I honestly think you're going to see Star-Lord kind of meet the Avengers before the rest of the Guardians do.
I think he's gonna reach out to Earth in some way, because that's where he's from,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna try to get in touch, and then I think Stark is gonna just pick it up, and the story is just gonna go from there.
Now, my question is kind of, because I don't know, there's going to be two movies. There's an untitled, because they got rid of the Part 1 and Part 2, so it's going to be Infinity War, and then the very next year,
Captain America, Infinity War 2.
It's going to be the next chapter of the Thanos finale. So my question is, do you think that in not Part 1, but Infinity War, we're going to see the Guardians at all? Maybe we won't see them until the second part.
Part 2, yeah.
Like, maybe, or it could be the other way around. So maybe like Part 1 is what's going on up in space, that kind of stuff.
That would be the Guardians.
Mm-hmm. And like, it'll show kind of how it affects Earth. All right, but then Part 2 is when they all come together, the second movie. I mean, I don't know. I'm just paraphrasing.
I think if you call the movie Infinity War, you can't just have it...
Infinity Dispute, like...
You can't just have it in space, because the majority of Marvel films have been on Earth. I mean, even in Thor 2, he's from Asgard.
I'm really excited about Thor 3 because it's entirely in the realm up there. It's entirely in Asgard and those planets.
But then, but with Infinity War, and you ever have a thought you were gonna say it and now it's gone? That just happened.
On that note,
Yeah, just yeah.
We might come back to it. All right. So moving on.
You cut me off.
Moving on. Punisher series for Netflix has officially started filming.
1 batch.
2 batch. Penny and dime. So, new photos from New York have shown John Berthnall has stepped back into the role of Frank Castle. They've begun filming, but the set photos show that he has grown a big, bushy beard. I don't know. Well, I do think that plays into the story. Some people are like, that's not important, but I do think it's important.
Explain.
So... anyway, right off the bat, I'm really excited that they're starting the Punisher series, but it also makes me question, when are they going to release it? Because next year, right now, they've already said Iron Fist and the Defenders are coming out. Do you got enough room to throw a Punisher series in there? Do you think?
I mean, why not?
Punisher was my favorite part about Daredevil Season 2. I think he is the definitive Punisher. But the beard... The set photos, he's got the beard, and he's got a big, like knapsack around his shoulder. And not like one carrying guns, like a hobo knapsack, kind of. So, I'm kind of guessing this whole series that they're coming out with, at least Season 1, could be a prequel series on how he became the Punisher. Because...
An origin story?
A little origin story. They kind of touched a little bit on the origin in Daredevil Season 2, but if you haven't seen Daredevil Season 2, you need to go watch it. But they touched on his origin story, that he was a military vet. His family died and stuff. So it looks like he could be coming back from war.
They didn't just die.
Well, they got brutally murdered.
Murdered.
So this could be him maybe coming back from war, starting that origin story, or it could just be flashbacks. I'm down for either a origin or a continuation. What about you?
I think they could do both if they do it right, and they've been doing it right. Like the episode of Luke Cage that I watched, I'm about halfway through, so there's a little bit of a spoiler. They were showing. Do you remember when he was in the Chinese food restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
He got blown up. The whole episode was basically him and the lady under the rubble, and mixed in with flashbacks from his prison days and the experiment, and then the classic headband and that yellow shirt.
I look like a damn fool.
Yeah. But I think if they do something like that for one episode, they don't need to, saturate an origin story like that.
I feel like they've kind of done that for all the series so far.
Which is what they need
Daredevil,
to do.
Jessica Jones too, because they they had that one episode where it's like, this is why they're the way.
And
this is why they are who they are.
They don't even need to go into it like they did with Luke Cage or something like that. All they need to do is reference it. I mean, the character itself, Frank Castle, and his origin, he's a military vet, and his family was murdered. What else would you really need for an origin?
I mean, like you're saying, I think the right way to go about it would be, now, we've had this discussion. I don't think they could do, Marvel could do whatever they wanted to, but I don't think it would be the right idea to do, after you've already introduced what this character can do in Daredevil Season 2, to take a step back and do an entire season on it. I think continue the character's development, move him forward, and use flashbacks, little touches to his past, that will eventually enhance the character.
Right. I don't think we need we don't need an in-depth origin. Now, with Daredevil, when Daredevil came out, you kind of saw what happened, and I think if they did the same thing with Punisher, it just wouldn't work as well because we've already seen him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but whatever Marvel wants to do, I'm along for the ride.
Especially when it comes to Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with them not really holding back when it comes to the Netflix series. They're very Daredevil season 1, I would say, was TVMA. Jessica Jones, Daredevil season 2, and Luke Cage are R-rated series, and that is I think a pretty bold, because everybody's like, Disney's never gonna take that chance that like Fox took with Daredevil. I'm like, I think they already are.
Yeah.
With the shows. Now with the movies, I don't think you'll ever see an R-rated Marvel movie from Disney. I could be wrong, don't quote me on it, but in the foreseeable future, I don't think it's going to happen. But do it on Netflix.
Maybe an extended cut on DVD, but...
Do it on Netflix for now, because it's working. Alright?
Yeah.
But yeah, Punisher. We're excited. Moving on to our next story. Staying in the realm of television, this time it's the Sci-Fi Channel. They are coming out with a pilot. It's not a full series yet, but a pilot for Krypton. And they just cast Superman's grandfather in the pilot. So David S. Goyer is creating a Superman prequel project called Krypton, and it is going to take place 2 whole generations before Superman is sent to Earth, focusing on the planet and the politics of Krypton. Cameron Cuff, an up-and-coming British actor, has just been cast as Superman's grandfather, so Kal-El's granddad. I honestly did not even know they were planning on making this show, but after seeing the first 15 minutes of Man of Steel, I could see myself watching this. The only thing that kind of turns me off is that it's on the Sci-Fi Channel, because those things are not usually budgeted very well.
That's the channel you find Sharknado versus Mothra versus
King Kong.
giant squid shark King Kong. That's where you find those.
And that's what scares me, because the channel used to be great. They used to have Battlestar Galactica, Stargate Atlantis, Star Trek, The Next Generation. They all used to play on there, and now it's that
I
crap.
think a Superman show, it
prequel show.
Doesn't matter. It is a Superman show. Come on. Like, it's basic. Well, I don't know.
My question is what's it connected to? Because
Superman.
The CW shows are in their own collective universe. They have their own Superman. They have their own Flash, Supergirl, Arrow. They have all of those in their one universe. Then there are the movies. Which one is Krypton going to fall under? Because it's DC's making the show. Sci-Fi can't just make a Krypton show without their consent. So is it going to be its own entity? Is it going to fall under the television universe? Or is it going to explain the movie universe? In my opinion, I think they should stick to the TV universe, because I don't want them to kind of sully the movies.
I think this is a waste of time. Not us talking about it, but them doing this. I mean, I personally, like, Superman himself, he's not... You can argue with me about this if you want, but himself, he is not a very complex character. He definitely has a couple of layers, but, you know, going back to Krypton and learning about the politics of Krypton, like, what's that going to matter, really? In my opinion, I don't see why it would be that pertinent.
I think DC is trying to do what Star Wars is trying to do and open up more. I'm not saying they're doing it right. I'm just saying that I think they're trying to delve into like stories from the past that are just barely touched on so far and try to broaden them to expand the universe. I don't think this is the right way to do that, however.
No, they're branching out too far.
Now, if DC came out and said, okay, we're going to, and this is after Justice League, because you definitely have to set up this universe before you could go for this, but if down the road they said, you know what, we're going to come out with a movie based on the planet Krypton, I'd be like, okay, they got a high budget, you got me interested. But when they say, all right, we're going to come out with a series and we're going to put it just a pilot, we're not ordering any more episodes, just a pilot, and we're going to throw it on Sci-Fi, it makes me think they don't have faith in it.
Why are you interested in learning about Krypton, the planet?
It's, honestly, it all stems from that first 15 minutes of Man of Steel. The first 15 minutes of Man of Steel, I think, are amazing. Because we never really got to delve into Krypton at all in the earlier Superman films or anything. So it was just, here's the spaceship, he's leaving, we don't know anything.
Why do you want to, though? That's my question.
I think it could expand on, I just want to know their culture. I'm interested. But I don't think this is the right way to go about that.
You know what? If they want to do that, keep it on the Sci-Fi Channel. You know what? There it is. If they want to do that, go ahead. Put it on the Sci-Fi Channel. And then people that want to know about that stuff can go and watch it. Not judging if you want to learn about the culture of Kryptonians. That's fine. But I don't think it plays that big of a role in the grand scheme of things.
And going off of what you said about Superman, I've always had problems with Superman. I think he's a little too OP'd, like a little too overpowered, and he's got one weakness. I think the movies have done a good job giving him more of a character.
I disagree.
I think if you look, and I love the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, I think that paints him very one-dimensionally. I think the newer films that they're coming out with, in Batman vs. Superman and in Man of Steel, they gave him a little more depth. Not a lot more, but a little more depth, all right? Because he's conflicted. And I think that's why those flashbacks in Man of Steel, with his father telling him, you got one dad saying you're going to be a god, you're going to, they will look up to you, and the other dad saying people will be afraid of you, and this is all going to come crashing down. I think that added to his character depth because he was very conflicted in both of those films.
I guess.
Okay. Well,
I don't know, like with the DC characters themselves, I think as fans, I mean like there are true DC fans that know everything about all the characters, but for the general population, we're not really that invested. Because we had Smallville, and there were a lot of gripes about that show. Drug it out, two seasons too long, whatever. Superman Returns.
But
See?
but
So, and then when Man of Steel was going to come out, when it was announced, I would, most people, including myself, were like, all right, go ahead. Kind of like what they did with Hulk. They had all these Hulk movies, and then, but then in the Avengers, it was just Hulk was there. Just Hulk being Hulk, pretty much.
I still stand by and it's definitely an opinion. A lot of people have a lot of problems with Man of Steel. I consider it as a superhero movie. I think it's a brilliant movie. As a superhero movie, I think it's brilliant. And visually, it's stunning. I love watching Man of Steel. Like before I saw Batman vs Superman, I went back and watched Man of Steel, and it got me so hyped up for Batman vs Superman. Only to be let down so
Yeah, I don't know. Like with Man of Steel, though, the current established Superman, he is kind of weak. He's kind of weak.
But it is kind of a change of pace from the constant Boy Scout, kind of Captain America-esque Superman that we've had in the past.
I don't know. Like, with Superman, though, it's like in the movies, he's walking like he's something, but then he gets his butt handed to him. In both of those movies, in Man of Steel and BVS,
Well, in terms of the BVS thing, I think, when it came to fighting Batman, he got his butt kicked for a reason. He was going into that fight, he was being too nice. Like, he could kill Batman if he wanted to. Let's be honest. If he picked up that suit that he had on,
he's weak.
He could have thrown him into space. And
He
he would have been dead. He's like, he's gone.
Right. I'm saying he's weak.
But that also plays into his character. It's like, kind of going back to what I said, Captain America was not going to kill Tony Stark. That's just not in his character. But that's why, like, those two movies are on different ballparks, because just because he wouldn't kill him doesn't mean he wouldn't beat the fuck out of him. Like, in Batman vs. Superman, he's like, I'm not going to kill you, and then he pussyfoots around and kind of just pushes him a couple times, and then Batman takes advantage. That's why I knew Batman was going to win that fight, because he's like, Superman ain't going to kill me. He's too nice, so I'm going to take advantage and throw some kryptonite in your face.
Yeah, well, I think Superman is just, I think he's just a weak character. I don't know. What's next?
Okay. We kind of got off topic on that
Yeah,
one.
a little bit, but
anyway.
worth it.
Okay, so this week, Ben Affleck, in an interview for The Accountant, which I'm pretty excited about, he said that the movie title for the Batman solo flick will be The Batman. Now, he also said in the interview, that's what we're going with, and it can change. But I hope they don't change it, because I am getting really sick of all these superhero movies. It's just, I like the simplicity of it. I think that movies are getting too confuddled with their titles. It's this, blah, blah, blah. Like, Batman, originally it was Batman v Superman. I was like, okay, I can do that. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League's coming, Lex Luthor. Like, and then, now the Marvel films didn't do it till their sequels. That's fine. But it's like, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Thor, the Dark World. Like, movies are becoming really confuddled with titles, and I think from a marketing standpoint as well, this is a very simple title. People will know what it means, and it'll get butts in seats.
The Batman, it reminds me of that scene in The Social Network where he's talking about the title, and he's like, the Facebook, and then Justin Timberlake's like, drop the, just Facebook. There's side thought. But I know why they did it, and we talked about it before. He's the Batman, not the Batman. He is the Batman. You see how it sounds different? The spelled the same. Batman, DC. No, but I don't know how I feel about the title. I think they could have. I mean, I guess it could be a good placeholder for now, but I don't know.
I think superhero movies are getting a little too big for their own good without building up a story behind it. Like, we're jumping right into Darkseid and Justice League, and like in Batman vs. Superman, it was just 2 movies into the universe, it's huge. And I kind of miss the movies that grounded, and it's like saving the block, saving the city, instead of I feel like every superhero movie nowadays, it's saving the world. Yeah. Just from some different threat. That's why I'm so excited for Spider-Man Homecoming, because they're bringing it down again. It's Spider-Man's not saving the world. He's saving Queens. It's Batman. It's simple. It's not the Batman Like, I couldn't even, because even the Batman movies in the past don't have very complicated names.
Right.
Batman, Batman Returns, you know, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
Well, then I'm thinking of like, so they had Smallville. Like, when I first heard of Smallville, I didn't know what that was. I was younger. I really wasn't into comic books. Didn't really know much about Superman. And I think they could do something interesting with the title of the movie. Like with Gotham, the show. They could have easily did something. Like, I don't even know what else they could have done, because the title of that was really well done.
The two titles that I was hoping this movie would get was either The Batman or World's Greatest Detective. I think that would have been pretty cool. Don't even put Batman in it. World's Greatest Detective. Just lay it out there.
But then to counteract that, you're saying world's greatest, world. It's not about saving the world, is it?
No. I'm just saying, that's his name. It's like they could have called it the Caped Crusader. The Dark Knight.
I know, yeah. But what you were just saying, keeping it local, I think the title would contradict that local feel. True.
And that's why I like the title of The Batman. Now, also on the same story, the Warner Brothers execs have said that The Batman is only a year and a half away. Which, instead of putting it where we all thought it would be in 2019, puts it in very early 2018. And that excites me a lot. Now, I've also heard that they are either thinking about putting it in that early 2018 slot, or putting it at the end of 2018 in October. Now, have a Batman movie be released around Halloween time, October, that could be pretty cool.
What else is coming out that time, though?
I mean, October movies, there's not really many blockbusters that come out in October. It's mostly like horror films. I think if they wanted to make a killing, if they put it in October, it would destroy the box office, because there's no competition. It's like Star Wars, The Force Awakens. They put it in December. Why? There was nothing else coming out. It broke every frickin' record.
Right.
So you put it in a month where it's like, not much is usually released. Well, until now. Boom, it blows up. Now, I say that, but I'm like, okay, but I really want it in early 2018. I don't want it later. I want it as soon as possible. Ben Affleck as Batman was my favorite part of Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah. So
I want to see him. He's directing it and starring and producing it. He's a great director. I want to see him just kill this. And they've just announced also that the villain will be Deathstroke. I think that's a stroke of genius.
Wow.
I think it's a stroke of genius, because what would have been the easy cop-out villain?
Seriously, I'm still trying to recover from that stupid pun.
If they could have so easily went, all right, it's going to be Batman versus the Joker. Well, we've seen this a million times before, haven't we? And we've also seen the Riddler. We've seen the Penguin. We've seen Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul. How about, like Deathstroke, we know who Deathstroke is. You guys know who Deathstroke is. But I would probably put out there that the general movie-going audience that aren't crazy comic book fans but still go and see these movies are probably like, Deathstroke. I've never really heard of that before. I think it goes along with what I was saying, brings it down a size, makes it a simpler movie, simple villain, good story. That's all I need. I don't need it to be saving the world from Deathstroke. I need it, let's save Gotham from Deathstroke.
So it's not, so this takes place after
Batman vs. Superman,
okay.
after Justice League. So, and that also intrigues me.
Not the release date, the story.
The story also takes place after Justice League, according to Warner Brothers, and that intrigues me also because it's like it would be like Iron Man coming home after the Avengers, and it's like taking off his helmet, relaxing, and then he gets a call. Hey, the world's about to blow up. Fuck! God damn it! I just got up. God. So it's like he comes home, he takes off the cape. Justice League just saved everything, and it's like Commissioner Gordon calls.
And then no. He sees. Wait, no. Okay. All right. Okay. So he's sitting on the couch, right?
Does he got the suit on? Like he's
and then
battered?
He takes off the mask and the cape, and he's just sitting there, and he's going like this, and he goes, and then there's a Bowie knife stuck in the table,
like
with a note on it.
And then he puts the mask back on, and in Danny Glover fashion says, "I'm getting too old for this shit." So, early 2018 release date, The Batman, Deathstroke is the villain, and they said Arkham Asylum will play a key role in it as well. I think this could potentially be, don't quote me, but it could potentially be the best Batman movie we've gotten yet. The Dark Knight is still probably my number 2 favorite superhero movie of all time. But if anybody can beat that, talent-wise, it's directed and starring Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I think that could work. Speaking of Batman, we're going to move on to our throwback movie of the week that we're just going to discuss and give our thoughts on. Batman Begins. This movie came out 11 years ago. Feel old yet? So after training with his mentor, Batman begins, roll credits, his fight to free crime-ridden Gotham City from the corruption that Scarecrow and the League of Shadows cast upon it. Obviously, it stars Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Liam Neeson, Katie Holmes, and Morgan Freeman.
I think you can say starred, past tense.
Yeah. What do you feel about this movie? What are your thoughts on it?
It's been a while since I've seen it, if I'm being honest. I liked it, though. My movie-going experiences, I saw, you might laugh at me, but I saw Dark Knight first, and then Batman Begins. Didn't affect my understanding at all, but I really liked it. I think they did Ra's al Ghul really well. I thought Scarecrow was... I don't know how I didn't think Scarecrow was used to the fullest potential. That's what I'm trying to say.
I want the Scarecrow from the Arkham games in the movies. That just he's a supernatural being almost. He's not a human. He's not a man.
He seemed just like this annoying thing that just kept popping up. But I agree with you. I think the Scarecrow from the games, just this is something that just completely derail Batman's train of thought and take him out of reality would be really, really cool to see. Not this annoying little pipsqueak of a villain.
So I saw Batman Begins when it came out in the theater, and I was not a huge Batman fan before that movie came out. I remember watching, when I was very, very little, Batman with Michael Keaton, and I liked it, I really did, but it was just a little too weird and off the wall for me. It's a very comic booky movie. And then Batman Begins comes in, and it made me feel like Batman could be a real frickin' person. That's what I love about that movie and all the Nolan movies. It makes me feel like this could happen. This is a real possibility in real life. If this guy wanted to spend his money and become a superhero, he was capable.
Yeah.
I think it was the best. I think Batman Begins showcased Christian Bale the best of the 3 films. I think it's the best Batman voice he does in all 3 films. It's not as...
Okay, I was going to say...
Dark Knight, it progressively got more rough. If you watch Batman Begins, he's almost just talking, just at a deeper octave. The only scene where he kind of does that is when he's hanging the guy upside down. Where are the other dogs going? I don't know, I never knew. I swear to God. Swear to me. Best line in the movie, by the way. But the cast was top notch. I love Morgan Freeman as Fox, Michael Caine as Alfred. He was my number one Alfred, but I like the new Alfred because he's more hands-on.
Sarcastic.
A little sarcastic
snarky.
asshole,
Yeah.
but I like that relationship. But the only problem I've really ever had with Batman Begins and the Nolan films in general, I think it dumbs down the character of Batman a little bit because he has so much help. Fox gives him all his tech.
Yeah.
Alfred, is his
I agree.
main, he doesn't do much detective work.
Right.
And that's why I'm hoping from the Batman is that we see that detective side that you
Oh,
see
we
in the
are,
games.
because in BVS, just the snippet that what we got
And what he's sitting there on the
of
computer.
Batman. I mean, he was a detective. He used his gadgets. Batman, he's not a superhero. He's not a super being or a metahuman. He's not. He has to use his gadgets.
He's a symbol.
That's the
He's a symbol.
that's the Batman that should be our Batman. I mean, this one.
Well, that was that's kind of that turn thing. They kind of solved that in The Dark Knight, because in Batman Begins it was that way.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Batman '89, where he literally had to step and turn. But I don't know how you fight in that. But yeah,
Poorly.
poorly fighting it. But Batman Begins is still, to me it goes The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and then The Dark Knight Rises. I have a lot of problems with The Dark Knight Rises. There's just too many holes in the plot. But
That's for another video.
yeah, it's another video. But I think Batman Begins is very underrated. I think a lot of people forget the film, but I think it still holds up. And what it does differently than the new films, and I think that was their goal, was making it seem realistic. The new Batman is what I want, and this is what I think we should have in this new DC universe, but it's definitely not as realistic as the Christian Bale ones. I think Nolan's job and what he wanted to do was, I'm going to ground this character, I'm going to make him seem like he's a real person.
That smokes a lot.
Oh, I was like, I thought you meant weed, like he just smokes a ton of weed.
No.
No, the villains aren't even there.
No.
He's just hitting air, man. Like,
Throat cancer just progressively got worse.
the worst scene of the throat cancer was The Dark Knight Rises, when he's beating Bane and it's, where's the trigger? Where is it? Where's the trigger? Okay. I watched that movie in the theater and I laughed during that scene. Like, it was supposed to be the epic triumphant moment and I'm dying. Like, I'm slapping my knee. I'm like, oh my god. He sounds like he's those commercials where it's like, I don't know if it's only 3 years.
Jeez.
I can't breathe from my own throat now.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I was
well.
dying. I was dying. Like Batman.
Anyway, let us know what you guys thought about Batman Begins or any of the stories that we went over today. Remember, we have our opinions, but you guys also have yours. We want to know what you guys think, so comment below. Make sure you like,
Comment,
share,
and subscribe.
so you keep up to date. This was the first episode. These are going to be weekly shows. Every Wednesday we're going to do the superhero news show, and every Sunday will be our iconic movie news. And we'll pepper in some reactions here and there as for all the new trailers. I think that's it. Oh, hold on. Easy. I just wanted to real quick thank all our subscribers that we currently have. Alright, we don't have a lot, but the ones that we have, I'm proud of. 25 subscribers.
25 now?
25 now. It's a very small. It's a very small number compared to other people, but we're growing at a very commensurate rate at this point. We're getting more and more every single day. We get more subscribers, and make sure you guys, if you are subscribed to us, share the news, share our videos, and tell other people about us so that we can gain those subscribers, gain some ground, gain some traction, and yeah.
Cue music!
Holy Grail.